Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a HeyImBee statue. This is of course part of the YouTuber statue series, which if you want to make any more YouTubers, feel free to not only check out the description below where I will be leaving all of my tutorial playlists, but if you check out the card system, not only will I leave you more targeted playlists, but some other videos that I think that you guys will enjoy as well. But moving on to B, if you want to make her, here's what you're going to need. You will need some white stained clay. Then grab yourself some black wool, some brown wool, grab yellow, white, and finally guys, grab yourself some light blue wool, and you might want to move the black and the yellow closer together. I have no idea why, but I feel as though that they probably go together. Once you have each one of these materials right here, and once you've figured out what you want to make her, I'll be making her right here, you're going to want to kick this off by doing 2 rows of 8 black wool on the ground. That's 2 rows of 8 black wool. It'll look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stacked directly on top. So 2 rows of 8 black wool. Once you have your 2 rows of 8, you then want to stack 2 rows of yellow wool on top. So that'll be 1 and 2, like that. So 2 rows of yellow. Then 2 rows of black. That'll be 1 and 2. 2 rows of black. You then want to do 2 additional rows of yellow. So that's 1 and 2. Then 2 rows of black. So that's 1. Whoops, hang on, we're not there. We're getting that is 1 row, and then that's another row, 2 rows of black. Then 2 more rows of yellow, that's 1 and 2. And then the next row is going to be a little bit different, guys. So for the next row, and this is actually for the next 2 rows, place a single brown wool on the ends of your row, and then place black everywhere else. So brown wool on the ends of your row, black everywhere else, and that wants to be for 2 rows. So just to show you guys what we want to have so far, and you can make sure that you've got the right amount of rows, you just want to have something which should look a little bit like this, which is perfect, guys. That's what you want to have. Now, for the next 2 rows, these things come in pairs for some reason. For the next 2 rows, you want to do 2 brown wool coming in from the left and the right, and then you want to do yellow everywhere else. And like I said, that's for 2 rows. So once you've done that to 1 row, do the exact same thing to the row above it. For the next 2 rows, you want to have 2 black wool in the center of the row, and then you want to have brown wool everywhere else. So 2 black in the center, brown wool everywhere else. For the next row, 2 yellow in the center, then brown everywhere else. And remember that these are all for the next 2 rows, so just do them in pairs. For the next row, it's black again with brown everywhere else. So just do 2 black in the center, then brown everywhere else. Then for the next row, and this is only going to come in 1, we only have to do this to 1 row, you want to do, coming in from the left, 3 brown, 2 yellow, 3 brown. And now for the final row of the front of the statue, you want to do 3 brown, 2 white stained clay, 3 brown, and what you should end up with in total, guys, should look a little bit something like this. And once you have that, that is actually what you want to have for the front of your bee statue. Those are her legs, and that is her torso. Now what we have to do is throw on her arms, which should be very, very simple. So moving all the way up to the top right hand corner of the statue where we have this brown wool, go right of this brown wool by 4 with your yellow. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then underneath that row of 4, add an additional layer of 4. Then do 2 layers of black coming down. That's 1, 2. Then 2 layers of yellow. That's 1, 2. 2 layers of black. 1, 2. 2 layers of yellow. 1, 2. 2 layers of black. 1 and 2. And what you want to end up with should look a little bit like this, and it just comes as far down as Bee's hair comes down. So as you might imagine, the brown wool is her hair, it comes as far down as that. Moving on, let's go to the other arm. So the other arm, it's the exact same thing. You want to start from this top left hand corner, go left by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 4 yellow underneath, then it's 2 layers of black, then 2 layers of yellow, black, yellow, and you just want to keep repeating this until you are eventually in line with Bee's hair right down at the bottom. So I'm not going to say which rows you have to do, you just have to keep repeating that very same pattern until, like I just have, you reach the very bottom of her hair. So you just want to end up with something that should look exactly like this, guys, and that is the front of Bee. Once you've got that taken care of, guys, we can now move on to the rest of it. So once you have the front of Bee taken care of, you now want to move all the way around to the back of your Bee statue. You want to take the bottom two corners of the statue and extend them out, coming out of the back of the statue each by 3 with your black. That's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. You then want to connect each one of those third blocks together, back block, to form a U shape like this, and once you've done that, we can actually then build up the rest of the statue. We're only going to be building up the back of the statue first of all, and then we'll move on to the sides. So, moving on top of these 8 back blocks that we have right here, stack another row of black. You guys knew this was coming. We then want to stack 2 layers of yellow, 1 and 2. Then 2 layers of black, 1 and 2. 2 layers of yellow, 1 and 2. 2 layers of black, 1 and 2. 2 layers of yellow, 1 and 2. Then 2 layers of black, 1 and 2. Then 2 layers of yellow, that'll be 1 and 2. And from here on outwards, it's going to be a little bit different. So let me show you how far up you actually got. So if you want to count, you have 4 repetitions of the black and you have 4 repetitions of the yellow, ending with the yellow. Once you've got that taken care of, we can now move up a little bit. And if you want, you can move your white and your black and yellow closer together. We're going to need them all. Moving on up. So for the next row, going up the statue left to right, we want to do 2 white wall, followed by 4 black, 2 white wall. For the next row, do 3 white, 2 black, 3 white. For the next row, do 3 white, 2 yellow, 3 white. For the next row, do 1 yellow, 6 white, 1 yellow. For the next row, do 1 black, 6 white, 1 black. Then for the next row, do 3 white, 2 black, 3 white. And for the next row, do 2 white, 4 yellow, 2 white. And for the final row, just do an entire layer of yellow wool. And what you'll want to end up with, guys, should look a little bit like this. And those are her wings that sit on her back, and well, she can't really fly, can she? It's just a costume. I was going to say, maybe she could fly if they were big enough, but they're tiny and fictional. So once you've got those taken care of, guys, all we have to do now are the arms. So you guys remember how to do the arms, don't you? The arms on the front of the statue are the exact same as they are on the back, or the proper way to say that is the arms on the back of the statue are the exact same way as they are on the front. So not only can you copy them from the front of the statue onto the back of the statue, you could just add them anyway. You guys know how to do this. Just look directly forward at the front of the statue and just copy them directly onto the back. It all follows round. It's all the same thing. So just to show you the first back of the arm, it looks a little bit like this. You can see on the left hand side, it's the exact same thing. That's what you want to have, except on the back now. Now, moving over to the opposite side of the statue, again, we just want to do the exact same thing. So apply that back of the arm onto the back of the statue, and that is all you have to do, guys. It takes a little bit of time because we're essentially just doing stripes, but hey, you know, well, you got something better to do? Have you? Do you want to make Bee? Well, then you do your stripes, which is exactly what I'm doing. So we're just adding in these stripes. We've just about finished the back of the arm, actually. We've got a load more stripes to do, actually. Once we've moved on from this part, we have a little bit more to do. So what you want to end up with for the back of the statue so far, guys, should look a little bit like this, and that's perfect. That's the back of the statue so far completed. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So it's now time for us to move on to the sides of the statue. The sides of the statue are really, really easy. Guess why? Take a look at the side of the statue. What do you think we're going to be doing here? We're going to be just basically copying whatever color we have on the left and right of us, and we're going to be doing that very same color in between. So we're just turning the whole statue into one big giant stripy mess. So it just wants to look a little bit like this. That's the leg. You guys could see this coming. That's what you want to have, and it applies to the arm as well. So for the under part of the arm, we just of course want to fill it in with black. And then moving up the side of the statue, it's the exact same thing that we did for the legs as well. You guys know how this works. We've just got to come all the way up to the top. And the top, it's the same thing. Color match, we just want to do the yellow. And for one side of the statue, which we've done just about... Yep, we finished that one side of the statue. We want to have something which should look exactly like that, guys. And that is perfect. Once you've done that to one side of the statue, do the exact same thing to the opposite side of the statue. So on the opposite side here, we just want to do yellow where there's yellow, black where there's black, etc, etc. And we just want to work our way up, so let's just do exactly that. Bottom of the hand, we've got to fill in with black wool. And now we've just got to add in all of our stripes until we get all the way up to the very top of the shoulder, which we will then fill in with yellow wool. So we're up here now, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Both of those are filled in, and what you want to have, guys, well, I should show you the shoulder first, or the side of the statue first, shouldn't I? So what you want to have, guys, should look a little bit like that, which is perfect. That's exactly what you want to have, guys. So once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So that is the body completed. Unfortunately for us, that is the harder or the easier part of the statue. The hardest part is left to come. So you now want to come all the way to the front of the statue and come all the way up to the top of the torso. On top of this top row of the torso, you want to stack a row of 8 yellow wool, just directly on top of the top 8 middle blocks of the torso. You then, building in front of this row of yellow, going from left to right, you want to do this. You want to do 1 brown wool. You then want to do 6 white stained clay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 1 brown wool. And that's perfect. That is Bee's face. We're now going to be building up on top of this. So, for the next row, do 1 yellow, 1 brown, 1 light blue, 2 white stained clay, 1 light blue, 1 white, 1 yellow. Then for the next row, do 1 yellow, 2 brown, then 2 white stained clay, then 1 light blue, 1 white, 1 yellow. For the next row, do 1 yellow, 3 brown, 1 white stained clay, 2 black, 1 yellow. And for the next row, do 1 yellow, 6 brown, then 1 yellow. Then for the next row, do an entire row of yellow wool. For the next row, do 1 yellow, 1 black, 4 yellow, 1 black, 4 yellow. For the next row, do 1 yellow, 2 black, 2 yellow, 2 black, 1 yellow. And what you want to end up with, guys, should look a little something like this. And once you have got that taken care of, guys, we can then move on to the next bit. So, this isn't exactly what we want to have for our statue so far, guys. This is kind of like the base part of it. What we now want to have for the front of the face is this. So we want to take some parts and we want to extend them, and we want to add a little bit more to them. So first of all, we want to take out our brown wool, and starting from in front of this first white stained clay that we place for the face, we want to place 1 brown coming out. And then you see where we've placed brown everywhere else in the face, we then want to take that and we want to extend that coming out in front of the statue by 1 like that. So there's now a bit of a fringish looking thing coming out in front of the face. You then want to take out your black wool, and starting from in front of this yellow block on the left, coming all the way up to the side of the brown wool that you have there, you just want to do a row of black. And then the same on the right, so in front of the yellow coming all the way up in line with the brown, just do a row of black. What you then want to do is take out your yellow wool and your black wool, and you just want to extend all of that yellow and black out in front of the statue by 1 row like this. So you just want to have something which should look exactly like that, guys, and that's what you want to have then for the face. We've added a couple of features to it. What you can then do is take out your yellow wool, and you can come all the way around to the back of the head where we have this yellow row, and you can extend this row of yellow coming out of the back of the statue until it overhangs the back of the statue by 2 rows, exactly how the front of the head overhangs the front of the statue by 2 rows. Once you have your second row, you can then raise it up up until it is equal height with the front of the head, and you can connect it as well. So you can turn the head into a big giant cube. So turn the head into a big giant cube, and then we'll fill it in with yellow. And what you might also want to do is just knock out the black on top of the face that we had originally, and then you can just replace that with yellow because it's not really supposed to be there. We just kind of had that in there just to make it easier to place like the additional parts in front of the head. And once we've actually got the head filled in, guys, we're not exactly finished. There's going to be a little bit more left for us to do. What we're then going to do after the head's been filled in with yellow, or what you can do because you don't have to do it, we can then extend out the wings out of the back by one row because I feel as though that they could be 3D. Plus, we're also going to, and like I said, if you want to, we can also extend the hair out of the front of the statue by one row, just because I feel as though it could be 3D and it could look quite nice if it just was, you know, like hanging out of the front of the back of the statue, or the front of the statue. What am I talking about, guys? So, what you want to have so far, and this is just for the head, this. You just want to have something which should look exactly like this. And like I said, if you then want to, and this might make it look better, you just want to extend the hair that hangs all the way down her torso, extend that out of the front of the statue by one row just to make it look all nice and 3D and stuff. And what we're then going to do is extend out the wings out of the back of the statue because it'll make it look all nice and 3D. For whatever reason, my hand-eye coordination this morning is absolutely dreadful, and we cannot place these blocks exactly where I want to. So that is the hair coming out of the front of the statue, and as I said, it just kind of, it makes more sense. It looks a little better in my opinion. It makes the statue look a little bit nicer, and we're doing the same thing with the wings. So coming to the wings here, we're now just taking all of this white wool and we're just extending it out because the wings are all not, well, I imagine they're hanging off the back of the suit. If this was an actual real life thing and not just a skin, I imagine that the wings would be coming out of the suit. So I figure why not make it 3D and make it look better. So there we go, those are the wings. Why don't we take a look at this thing, because once you've done all of those things, that is the statue 100% fully completed. It's a nice looking statue as well, I like this. It's been a little while since I've made a YouTuber, but I'm glad that I started off again by making this one because it's quite nice. So this is HeyImBee, statue looking very colourful, very vibrant, very, very nice. Hopefully you guys have managed to make it, hopefully you guys like it. And if you managed to do both of those things, guys, I'd really appreciate it if you could slap a like, give this video a share, give it a favourite, and feel free to comment down below who should I make next from the YouTube world. Who is going to be the next YouTuber that I make on the channel? Also, feel free to not only check out the description of the video for all of my various tutorial playlists, there's going to be loads of them in the description, guys, plus also feel free to check out the card system where I'll drop links to the YouTuber and statue tutorial playlist, plus also a couple of other things that I think that you guys will like. But like, favourite, share if you wouldn't mind, guys, I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to let me know who to make next because I don't know unless you guys tell me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.